There comes a time in life when you must make a choice between holding on to what no longer serves you and stepping into the future designed for you. This moment is crucial. It's the difference between being stuck in the past and moving toward the life you were meant to live. You see, too many people spend their lives weighed down by attachments to people, expectations, failures, regrets. They hold on to relationships that drain them, opinions that imprison them, and fears that silence them. They replay old conversations in their minds, reliving pain that should have been left behind. They look at the success of others and wonder why their own journey isn't the same. But here's the truth. The more you cling to the things that aren't meant for you, the further you drift from what is. The more you seek validation from others, the less you listen to your own inner voice. The more you compare your path to someone else's, the less you walk your own. If you truly want to live with purpose, with freedom, with clarity, you must learn to detach. You must let go. And you must shift your focus to the only thing that truly matters, your own path. The power of detachment isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about refusing to be controlled by things that don't serve your highest good. It's about recognizing when something is no longer meant for you and having the courage to walk away. Many of us struggle with this because we're taught that letting go means failure. That if we stop trying, if we stop holding on, we've somehow lost. But in reality, detachment is one of the greatest acts of strength. It takes courage to release what no longer aligns with your journey. It takes wisdom to know when something is pulling you back instead of pushing you forward. Think about it. Have you ever held on to a toxic relationship believing it would change? Have you ever clung to a job that drained you, fearing the uncertainty of something new? But have you ever chased validation from people who never truly valued you? Holding on doesn't fix anything. It only delays the inevitable. Detachment means freeing yourself from the emotional chains that keep you bound. It means recognizing that you are not responsible for carrying everything and everyone on your shoulders. It means trusting that if something is truly meant for you, it will stay. And if it's not, no amount of holding on will make it right. Detachment is often misunderstood. Many people associate it with indifference, as if letting go means not caring. But true detachment is not about shutting down emotionally. It's about freeing yourself from the things that no longer serve you, the things that hold you back from becoming the person you are meant to be. Detachment requires strength because it asks you to step away from comfort, familiarity, and sometimes even people who once played a significant role in your life. One of the greatest misconceptions is that holding on shows love, dedication, or resilience. But holding on can also be an act of fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of losing control. Many people remain attached to relationships that drain them, simply because they're afraid of loneliness. Others hold on to old failures, replaying their mistakes over and over again, as if punishing themselves will somehow change the past. Some remain stuck in jobs they hate, terrified that stepping into something new will lead to failure. But none of these attachments lead to growth. They lead to stagnation, self-doubt, and exhaustion. Detachment requires a shift in mindset. It's about recognizing that clinging to something does not mean it's meant for you. Just because something was once right for you doesn't mean it always will be. Life is constantly changing, and as you evolve, so do your needs, priorities, and values. What served you 5 years ago may no longer align with who you are today. Yet many people resist this truth, fearing that if they let go, they'll be left with nothing. But in reality, when you detach from what no longer serves you, you make room for what truly does. Think about a person holding onto a rope. If the rope is attached to something stable, it might help them stay grounded. But if the rope is attached to something that's pulling them down, a sinking ship, for example, holding on is no longer an act of survival, but of self-destruction. In these moments, the strongest thing a person can do is let go. The same applies to life. Holding on to toxic relationships, past regrets, or limiting beliefs only keeps you sinking. Detachment is about realizing when it's time to release the rope and trust that something better awaits. One of the hardest things to detach from is people. Friendships, relationships, even family dynamics can become attachments that prevent growth. Many struggle with the idea of letting go of someone they once loved or cared about deeply. They hold on because of history, because of shared memories, because they feel obligated to make things work. But sometimes people outgrow each other. Sometimes staying in certain relationships means sacrificing your peace, self-respect, and personal growth. True love and connection should never come at the cost of your well-being. If someone constantly drains your energy, disrespects your boundaries, or fails to support your growth, detaching from them is not an act of cruelty, it's an act of self-love. Detachment is also necessary when it comes to expectations. Many people live their lives based on what others think they should do. They attach themselves to the expectations of family, society, or their own past decisions. They choose careers not because they love them, but because they were told it's the right path. They suppress their dreams out of fear of judgment. But when you attach yourself to the expectations of others, you give away your power. You let other people's opinions dictate your life, and in doing so, you abandon your own truth. True freedom comes when you detach from external validation and start making choices that align with your authentic self. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people struggle to detach. The mind clings to familiarity because it equates it with safety. Even if a situation is toxic, painful, or limiting, it feels safe because it's known. But just because something is familiar does not mean it's right. Growth happens when you step into the unknown, when you take risks, when you have faith that something better exists beyond what you can currently see. The most successful, fulfilled people in life are those who had the courage to detach from the things that no longer aligned with them, even when it was difficult. Detachment is not an overnight process. It's something that takes practice, patience, and self-awareness. It starts with recognizing what you're holding on to and asking yourself why. Are you staying in a situation because it truly serves you or because you're afraid of letting go? Are you clinging to a belief because it empowers you or because it's what you've always known? These are the questions that lead to clarity, and clarity is what gives you the strength to detach. Holding on often feels like the right thing to do. It's human nature to cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves us. People hold on to relationships that drain them, jobs that make them miserable, and memories that bring them pain. They convince themselves that if they just try a little harder, things will change. If they just hold on long enough, the situation will improve. But the truth is, holding on to what no longer serves you doesn't fix anything. It only delays your growth. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of pain, disappointment, and frustration. Many people struggle to let go because they fear the unknown. The mind tells them that even if the current situation is difficult, at least it's something they understand. They tell themselves that staying in a toxic relationship is better than being alone, that a job that makes them unhappy is better than financial uncertainty, that replaying past mistakes is better than facing an uncertain future. But the cost of holding on is far greater than the fear of letting go. It drains your energy, consumes your thoughts, and prevents you from stepping into a better version of yourself. Emotional attachment makes letting go difficult. When people invest time, energy, and emotions into something, they feel like walking away means all that effort was wasted. But what they don't realize is that the real waste is staying in a situation that no longer helps them grow. Time and energy are precious, and clinging to the past prevents you from investing in the future. Holding on to past failures doesn't change them, and holding on to toxic relationships doesn't fix them. It only keeps you locked in the same cycle, preventing new opportunities from coming into your life. People often attach their identity to their past. They believe that if they let go of certain things, they will lose a part of themselves. Someone who has always been in an unhealthy relationship may fear being single because they don't know who they are outside of that dynamic. Someone who has spent years in a job they dislike may struggle to leave because they have tied their self-worth to their career. But true identity is not found in things, people, or circumstances. It is found in personal growth. Letting go doesn't mean losing yourself. It means finding yourself in a deeper and more meaningful way. One of the biggest illusions that keeps people stuck is the belief that they need closure before they can move on. They wait for an apology that never comes, for an explanation that will make everything make sense, for a final moment that will help them let go. But closure is not something that comes from other people. It is something you give yourself. Waiting for closure only keeps you trapped, dependent on someone else's actions for your own peace. The real power lies in deciding that you no longer need it. Letting go also requires a shift in perspective. Many people see endings as failures, but in reality, they are opportunities for new beginnings. What seems like loss is often redirection. What feels like rejection is often protection. Every time you let go of something that no longer aligns with you, you create space for something better. But that better future can't arrive if your hands are still full of the past. When you release what no longer serves you, you open yourself up to growth, healing, and new possibilities. The process of letting go isn't always easy. There will be moments when you want to go back, when doubt creeps in, when the fear of the unknown makes you question your decision. But those moments are part of the journey. Growth requires discomfort. Change requires trust. And progress requires sacrifice. The longer you hold on to what's not meant for you, the longer you delay the life that is. But the moment you decide to let go, you reclaim your power. You take control of your own happiness, your own destiny, and your own future. Letting go is often mistaken for weakness, as if releasing something means giving up or admitting defeat. But in reality, letting go is an act of immense strength, one that requires courage, self-awareness, and trust. It is not about forgetting the past or pretending it didn't happen. It is about choosing not to let it define you. Carrying pain, resentment, and regret only weighs you down, making it impossible to move forward. The only way to truly heal is to release what no longer serves you. Not because the past didn't matter, but because your future matters more. Holding on to negative emotions such as anger, bitterness, or regret can feel justified. When someone has hurt you, the instinct is to cling to that pain, to replay the betrayal over and over again, as if doing so will somehow bring justice or closure. But in reality, the only person suffering is the one holding on to the pain. Carrying resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It only eats away at your peace, your happiness, and your ability to experience joy. Letting go doesn't mean the pain was insignificant. It means refusing to let it have power over you any longer. Forgiveness is a major part of letting go. Many people struggle with this concept because they believe that forgiving someone means excusing their actions. But forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about freeing yourself from the chains of resentment. It is about making peace with what happened so that it no longer controls your thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Forgiveness doesn't require an apology. It doesn't require the other person to change. It only requires a decision to stop carrying the weight of past hurt. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean allowing the same situation to repeat. It means no longer allowing it to take up space in your heart and mind. Letting go is also about releasing the fear of what could have been. Many people hold on to situations because they are haunted by the idea of what if. They replay different scenarios in their minds, wondering how things might have turned out if they had made different choices. But living in the past changes nothing. The reality is that what's done is done. The only thing you have control over is how you move forward. Regret is a heavy burden, one that can consume a person if they let it. But no amount of overthinking will rewrite history. The only way to create a better future is to stop clinging to the past. Letting go isn't just about emotions, it's also about detaching from limiting beliefs. Many people hold on to outdated ideas about themselves, convinced that they are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to pursue the life they truly want. They let past failures define their potential, believing that just because something didn't work out before, it never will. But growth requires shedding old beliefs, just like a tree must shed dead leaves to make room for new ones. Letting go of limiting beliefs means stepping into a new mindset, one where past mistakes are lessons, not sentences of failure. One of the most difficult things to let go of is control. Many people try to control every aspect of their lives, believing that if they hold on tightly enough, they can prevent bad things from happening. But control is an illusion. Life is unpredictable, and no amount of planning or worrying can prevent change. Letting go means accepting uncertainty, trusting that even if things don't go according to plan, they will unfold as they are meant to. It means surrendering to the flow of life, rather than resisting it out of fear. The process of letting go is not immediate. It is something that takes time, effort, and patience. Some days, the past will creep back in. Some days, old wounds will feel fresh again. But healing is not about never feeling pain. It is about choosing day after day to release it instead of reliving it. It is about making peace with what was so you can fully embrace what is and what will be. The more you let go, the lighter you become, and the more room you create for new opportunities, new joy, and new beginnings. Your path is yours alone, and no two journeys are ever the same. Too often, people fall into the trap of believing that their life should look like someone else's. They compare their progress, their success, their struggles, and even their failures to those around them as if life is a race where everyone must reach the same destination at the same time. But the truth is, every person has a unique journey with its own timing, lessons, and purpose. Trying to fit into someone else's mold only leads to frustration and self-doubt. The real power comes when you embrace your own path, trusting that where you are right now is exactly where you are meant to be. One of the biggest obstacles to embracing your unique journey is societal pressure. From a young age, people are taught that certain milestones should happen by a specific time, graduate by this age, get married by that age, achieve financial success by a particular point. When life doesn't unfold according to these timelines, people begin to feel like they are falling behind, as if they are failing simply because their story isn't following the same script as everyone else's. But life is not a straight path, nor is it a one-size-fits-all experience. Some people find their purpose early, while others discover their true calling later in life. Some people build success quickly, while others take years to reach their goals. Neither path is wrong, because each person is meant to experience life in their own way. Comparison is a thief of joy, yet many people spend their days measuring themselves against others. They look at social media, seeing curated highlights of other people's lives, and start to believe that they are not doing enough. They see friends achieving things they haven't yet accomplished and feel as though they are falling short. But what they fail to realize is that every person is fighting their own battles, facing their own struggles, and learning their own lessons. Just because someone else's success is visible does not mean their journey was easy. And just because your path looks different does not mean you are behind. Growth does not happen at the same pace for everyone. And that is exactly how it is meant to be. The moment you stop focusing on what others are doing and start focusing on your own journey, everything changes. Instead of feeling inadequate, you begin to appreciate how far you have come. Instead of feeling lost, you start to trust that your path is leading you exactly where you need to go. There is no need to rush or force things to happen before their time. What is meant for you will come when you are ready for it. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it never will. It simply means your path is unfolding in its own perfect timing. One of the most freeing realizations is understanding that your journey is not meant to look like anyone else's. What works for others may not work for you, and that is okay. Some people find happiness in stability, while others thrive in uncertainty. Some people succeed by following a traditional path, while others create their own way. The key is to stop seeking validation from external sources and start trusting your own inner wisdom. When you let go of the need to conform to expectations, you give yourself permission to live authentically. Your path is shaped by your experiences, your choices, and the lessons you are meant to learn. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and detours, but those challenges are part of what makes your journey meaningful. Each struggle you face is preparing you for something greater. Each delay is teaching you patience, resilience, and trust. Instead of resenting where you are, embrace it. Every step, no matter how small, is leading you toward the life you are meant to live. The beauty of life is that no two journeys are identical. What makes your path special is that it is yours. There is no need to compare, no need to rush, and no need to question whether you are where you should be. You are exactly where you need to be at this moment, learning exactly what you need to learn. The more you trust your journey, the more you will realize that everything is happening for you, not against you. Stay focused on your own path, and everything else will fall into place in its own time. Distractions are everywhere, pulling people away from what truly matters. The modern world is filled with noise, endless opinions, societal expectations, and temptations that make it easy to lose focus. Many people spend their days reacting to life instead of intentionally creating it. They allow outside influences to dictate their actions, thoughts, and emotions, often without even realizing it. When you let distractions control your mind, you lose sight of your purpose. You drift through life rather than actively shaping it. The key to true success, fulfillment, and happiness is learning to block out the noise and focus on your own journey. One of the biggest distractions is the opinions of others. Many people shape their lives based on what others think or expect of them. They fear judgment, seek approval, and hesitate to make bold decisions because they worry about what people will say. But the truth is, no one else is living your life. Their opinions don't build your dreams, don't experience your struggles, and don't walk your path. Allowing other people's voices to dictate your actions will only lead to regret. The more you listen to outside noise, the more disconnected you become from your own inner voice. The only approval that truly matters is your own. When you trust yourself and block out unnecessary opinions, you take back control of your destiny. Another major distraction is comparison. Social media has made it easier than ever to see what others are doing. And this constant exposure leads many people to feel like they are falling behind. They see someone achieving success and suddenly feel inadequate. They see others living a certain lifestyle and start to believe that their own life is lacking. But comparison is dangerous because it shifts focus away from personal growth. It makes people chase someone else's version of success instead of defining their own. The reality is that everyone has their own pace, their own timing, and their own unique journey. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. The more you focus on your own progress instead of looking sideways, the faster you will move forward. Negative self-talk is another powerful distraction. Many people hold themselves back, not because of external obstacles, but because of the stories they tell themselves. They replay past failures, convince themselves they are not good enough, and allow doubt to take control. This inner dialogue can be more damaging than any outside influence because it keeps people trapped in fear and hesitation. The mind believes what it is repeatedly told, which is why it is crucial to feed it with positive, empowering thoughts. If you constantly tell yourself that you are capable, strong, and deserving of success, your actions will begin to align with that belief. But if you allow self-doubt to take over, you will continue to second-guess yourself and stay stuck. The more you silence negative self-talk, the clearer and more confident you become in pursuing your path. Distractions also come in the form of unproductive habits. Many people waste hours on meaningless activities that do not contribute to their growth. They spend excessive time scrolling through social media, watching television, or engaging in gossip. These distractions feel harmless, but they steal time and energy that could be used for something meaningful. Every minute spent on distractions is a minute taken away from personal progress. Time is the most valuable resource, and once it is gone, it cannot be regained. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the smartest or the luckiest, they are the most disciplined. They know how to prioritize what truly matters and eliminate what is not. The more intentional you are with your time, the more you will accomplish. Emotions can also become distractions if they are not managed properly. Many people get caught up in temporary feelings of anger, frustration, or sadness, and allow these emotions to dictate their decisions. While emotions are natural, they should not control your actions. When people react impulsively based on how they feel in the moment, they often make choices that do not align with their long-term goals. Learning to manage emotions and stay focused despite challenges is a powerful skill. Instead of letting setbacks throw you off course, use them as fuel to keep moving forward. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger and more determined. The world will always be full of distractions, but staying focused is a choice. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and a strong commitment to your own growth. When you learn to silence the noise, ignore the opinions that don't matter, and remove unproductive habits, you create space for clarity and progress. You begin to operate with purpose rather than reacting to whatever comes your way. The ability to stay focused on your own path, despite the chaos around you, is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. The more you eliminate distractions, the more you will accomplish, and the closer you will get to the life you truly desire. Self-doubt is one of the greatest obstacles to success, holding people back from reaching their full potential. It creeps in silently, whispering thoughts of fear and uncertainty, making even the most capable individuals question themselves. It convinces people that they are not ready, not good enough, or that failure is inevitable. The longer self-doubt lingers, the more power it gains, paralyzing action and preventing growth. Overcoming self-doubt is not about never feeling uncertain, it is about refusing to let uncertainty dictate your actions. Confidence is not something that is given, it is something that is built through action, persistence, and belief in oneself. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for confidence before they take action. They assume that once they feel ready, they will finally pursue their dreams, take risks, and step outside their comfort zone. But confidence does not appear out of nowhere. It is the result of action, not the cause of it. The only way to build confidence is to take action despite fear. Every time you push through doubt, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every step you take, no matter how small, strengthens your belief in yourself. Growth comes from movement, and the more you challenge yourself, the stronger you become. The mind is powerful, and the stories people tell themselves shape their reality. If someone constantly tells themselves they are not good enough, their actions will reflect that belief. They will hesitate, second-guess themselves, and avoid opportunities that could lead to growth. But when a person begins to shift their self-talk, everything changes. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," they start saying, "I am learning how to do this." Instead of thinking, "I will fail," they tell themselves, "Every step brings me closer to success." Words have power, and when used intentionally, they can transform doubt into confidence. The more someone reinforces positive beliefs about themselves, the more their mind will accept them as truth. Many people struggle with self-doubt because they focus too much on past failures. They replay mistakes, relive embarrassing moments, and allow past experiences to define them. But failure is not a reflection of worth, it is a stepping stone to success. Every successful person has failed countless times before reaching their goals. The difference is that they did not allow failure to stop them. Instead of seeing setbacks as proof of inadequacy, they viewed them as lessons. Each mistake provided valuable insight, making them stronger, wiser, and more prepared for future challenges. The past does not define a person's potential. What matters is how they use their experiences to move forward. Comparison is another major source of self-doubt. When people constantly measure themselves against others, they begin to feel inadequate. They see someone achieving success and assume that they are falling behind, but every person's journey is unique with its own timing and challenges. Comparing yourself to someone else is like comparing a seed to a fully grown tree. The tree once started as a seed, and through time, growth, and effort, it became what it is. The same applies to personal growth. Just because someone else is further along does not mean you are failing. It simply means your journey is unfolding at its own pace. The only person you should compete with is the person you were yesterday. Taking action despite self-doubt requires courage. It means stepping into uncertainty and trusting that you will figure things out along the way. Fear and doubt do not disappear, but they lose their power when you act in spite of them. Every time you take a step forward, you weaken the grip of doubt. Confidence is built through experience, and the only way to gain experience is to start. It does not have to be perfect. The first step does not have to be big. What matters is that you move forward, knowing that every action brings you closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. Overcoming self-doubt is a continuous process. It requires daily effort, intentional thinking, and the willingness to challenge limiting beliefs. Surrounding yourself with supportive, encouraging people can make a difference. Seeking inspiration from those who have overcome similar struggles can provide motivation. Most importantly, reminding yourself that you are capable, worthy, and strong enough to handle any challenge will transform your mindset. The more you believe in yourself, the more you will accomplish. Confidence is not about never feeling doubted, it is about choosing to move forward anyway. Fear of the unknown is one of the greatest barriers to personal growth and success. Many people hesitate to take action because they cannot predict the outcome. They become trapped in their comfort zones, clinging to what feels safe and familiar, even when it no longer serves them. The thought of stepping into the unknown triggers anxiety, causing them to second-guess themselves and delay decisions. But growth only happens when people are willing to embrace uncertainty. The path to success is never fully clear, and waiting for perfect clarity before taking action only leads to stagnation. The most successful people in the world are not those who had everything figured out before they started. They are the ones who started despite uncertainty and figured things out along the way. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that they need to have all the answers before moving forward. They want guarantees, certainty, and a clear map before they take the first step. But life does not work that way. Every great achievement, every major breakthrough, and every transformative journey begins with a step into the unknown. No one knows exactly how things will unfold, but those who succeed are the ones who trust themselves enough to move forward despite the uncertainty. The key is to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it. Fear is a natural response to uncertainty, but it does not have to be a limitation. The same energy that fear produces can be redirected into excitement and anticipation. The unknown holds endless possibilities, and instead of focusing on what could go wrong, it is more powerful to focus on what could go right. Every new opportunity, every big decision, and every bold move comes with a level of risk, but it also comes with the potential for incredible rewards. Instead of fearing failure, it is important to recognize that even if things do not go as planned, valuable lessons will be learned along the way. Every setback is an opportunity for growth, and every challenge is a stepping stone toward something greater. Many people let fear control their decisions without realizing it. They convince themselves that they are being logical, practical, or cautious, but in reality, they are simply avoiding discomfort. Growth requires stepping outside of what feels familiar, and that often means facing fear head-on. The key to overcoming this fear is to shift the mindset from avoiding failure to embracing the learning process. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What can I learn from this experience?" Instead of fearing the worst, focus on the best possible outcome. Shifting this perspective can make uncertainty feel like an adventure rather than a threat. Taking action in the face of uncertainty builds resilience. The more someone challenges themselves, the more they realize they are capable of handling anything that comes their way. Every time they face an unknown situation and push through it, they gain confidence in their ability to adapt, learn, and succeed. This is how strong, fearless individuals are created, not by avoiding challenges, but by confronting them. Each time a person proves to themselves that they can handle uncertainty, fear loses its grip a little more. Over time, stepping into the unknown becomes less intimidating and more exciting. The greatest opportunities in life exist beyond the comfort zone. Staying in the same place, doing the same things, and following the same patterns will only lead to the same results. If growth, success, and transformation are the goals, then new steps must be taken. It does not have to be a huge leap. Small, consistent actions can create massive change over time. The important thing is to keep moving forward even when the destination is not fully visible. There is a powerful freedom in trusting the journey. When people stop resisting uncertainty and start embracing it, they open themselves up to limitless possibilities. Life is meant to be explored, experienced, and lived fully. No one achieves greatness by playing it safe. The unknown is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. It is where new opportunities, unexpected blessings, and the most rewarding experiences are found. The key to success is not in avoiding uncertainty, but in having the courage to face it, knowing that every step forward is a step toward something greater. True fulfillment and success come from focusing on your own path rather than constantly seeking external validation. Many people spend their lives trying to impress others, chasing approval, and shaping their actions based on what society expects of them. They make decisions not because they truly desire something, but because they want recognition, admiration, or acceptance. This pursuit of validation is exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling because it places happiness in the hands of others. When a person's sense of self-worth is tied to external approval, they become trapped in a cycle of constantly trying to prove themselves. They worry about what people think, seek reassurance, and measure their success based on other people's opinions. But true confidence and purpose come from within, not from the approval of others. One of the biggest traps people fall into is allowing social expectations to dictate their choices. From a young age, society teaches what success should look like, what kind of career to pursue, what kind of lifestyle to have, and even how to measure personal worth. But blindly following a path just because it is considered normal or acceptable can lead to dissatisfaction and regret. Many people spend years doing things they do not truly love, simply because they think it will earn them respect or recognition. But no amount of external praise can replace the deep fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with personal values and passions. The most successful and content individuals are those who break free from societal expectations and carve their own path, even when others do not understand it. Another major problem with seeking validation is that it makes people dependent on the opinions of others. They hesitate to make bold decisions because they fear criticism or rejection. They avoid risks because they worry about failing in front of an audience. They constantly adjust their actions to fit what others want, rather than staying true to themselves. But the reality is, no matter what a person does, there will always be critics. There will always be people who disagree, judge, or fail to understand. Trying to please everyone is an impossible task, and the more a person chases approval, the more they lose themselves in the process. The only way to break free from this cycle is to stop giving so much power to external opinions. Instead of worrying about what others think, the focus should be on what truly matters to the individual. Self-validation is the key to true confidence. When a person learns to trust their own judgment, value their own progress, and appreciate their own growth, they no longer need constant reassurance from others. They recognize their worth without requiring external confirmation. This does not mean ignoring feedback or being closed off to learning. It means developing a strong enough sense of self that outside opinions do not shake their foundation. When someone builds inner confidence, they make decisions based on what aligns with their purpose, not based on how much praise they will receive. A common mistake people make is believing that once they achieve a certain level of success, they will finally feel validated. They think that if they reach a financial goal, gain a certain number of followers, or receive public recognition, they will finally feel fulfilled. But external achievements do not create lasting confidence. There are countless examples of successful individuals who, despite fame and fortune, still struggle with insecurity because they built their identity on external approval. True confidence comes from knowing that success is not about how others see you, it is about how you see yourself. When a person measures their worth based on their own values, growth, and progress, they no longer need outside validation to feel accomplished. Letting go of the need for validation also brings a sense of freedom. When someone no longer lives under the weight of expectations, they can take risks, explore new opportunities, and express themselves without fear. They no longer hesitate to try new things because they are not afraid of failure. They embrace their uniqueness and pursue their goals without constantly worrying about how they are received. This kind of freedom allows for genuine success because decisions are made from a place of authenticity rather than from a place of fear or insecurity. The most fulfilling path in life is the one that is aligned with personal truth. It is not about impressing others, fitting into expectations, or seeking constant approval. It is about knowing who you are, embracing your journey, and defining success on your own terms. When a person learns to trust themselves, believe in their abilities, and stop relying on external validation, they gain the confidence to pursue their dreams with conviction. The journey to true success is not about proving anything to anyone. It is about becoming the best version of oneself and living with purpose, passion, and authenticity.